I'm clearly no Cristiano Ronaldo, but I'm going to try and beat him at something that I think I might actually have a chance at. Sleeping. Over the next week, I'm going to try to get over 52.5 hours sleep to outperform the 5-time Ballon d'Or winner.
But I figured every good challenge needs a forfeit.
So if I fail, then I'm going to have to sleep in the garden for a night with no tent in the middle of winter in one of the wettest places in the entire world.
However, for day one, my plan was to take things pretty easily. Before the challenge, I used to get my best night's sleep after a long walk, so I decided to do a 1-hour hike and hoped it was enough to hit the Ronaldo target. The plan was pretty simple on paper. Step 1, get some exercise. Step 2, get some sunshine. Did I get a little distracted along the way? Maybe, but I was hopeful it was going to be enough. And with the plan more or less successfully completed, it was time to start to look at the results.
Morning, it's day 2 here, and sadly, the walk wasn't enough to get the job done. I only managed to get 6 hours and 58 minutes sleep, so I'm a whopping 32 minutes behind from the very first day. I'm pretty sure I did everything right as well. I had 1 hour and 15 minutes of walking time. I was in bed by 9:30. I didn't do too much on my phone. I did a little bit. I probably did a little bit too much worrying about things. It's one of the big problems with sleep. You always kind of like at the end of the day, your just mind can't turn off. So somehow I managed to go to sleep at 10:39 instead of 10 o'clock. The point is, I failed the first day and I need to make up half an hour extra of sleep in the very least tonight. So I need to get 8 hours sleep tonight. So suddenly the challenge is way harder because I do not want to spend a night in the freezing cold garden with foxes, slugs and spiders crawling all over me. So clearly I need to take things up a notch to be able to beat Ronaldo and land 8 hours sleep tonight.
So it wasn't in my initial plan, but I'm going to throw in an extra hour and a half on the cycle because I had initially planned just to do an hour of keepy uppies in the garden, but clearly that's not going to be enough to make up the 8 hours. So yeah, it's time to go to war. Cristiano Ronaldo and come of fire.
Okay, so now it's time for the keepy uppies, and my plan is to do 1 hour of keepy uppies, or if I can hit 100 keepy uppies before then I get to finish early, but that's really unlikely, so let's give it a go. Well, it's not a great start. $34. Oh, $45. Oh, it takes a lot out of you. So there's 5 minutes to go. 68 was my best score, but as ever, the camera ran out of battery, so didn't get caught on camera. So I got 5 minutes to try to do the impossible, or just to get so tired that I get loads of sleep tonight. $81. Let's go. 85 is my best. I'm pretty happy with that. $89, $90, $91, $92, $93, $94, $95, $96, $97, $98, $99, $100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In your face, Ronaldo. And drumroll, I actually managed to beat the 7.5 hours. In fact, I managed to do 8.5 hours sleep. Don't know if you can see that. That's my sleep scores. Did a pretty good job. Went to sleep at 9:30, did everything right. I also had no screen time whatsoever after 9 o'clock. I was in bed at 9. And I read until I fell asleep at 9:30, so everything kind of worked out really well. And now I'm actually in with a chance to complete the week. Instead of being half an hour back, I'm now 28 minutes up, which makes the rest of the week so much more achievable. I thought if I managed to get just 7.5 hours or less again for the second night,
the challenge would be unassailable. But now, with all the effort, and I did put in so much effort to try to stay asleep. I woke up loads in the night, and every time I was like, I gotta go back to sleep. I was counting backwards from 100, just doing everything to keep my mind completely blank and just focused on going back to sleep. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo does around about 3 hours of activity, exercise every single day, and I did 2.5 hours yesterday, and I managed to get 8.5 hours sleep. So clearly you don't need to go as full on as Ronaldo in terms of exercise, but I'm keen to keep pushing forward and trying some of the things that he does. So I did cycling and keepy uppies yesterday. Today I'm going to do 3 more activities that I'm pretty sure he does on a regular basis. One of them is swimming. So I'm here at my local beach because I can't exactly take a camera into the local swimming pool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get changed into my ridiculously thick wetsuit in the car, which is going to be a challenge all by itself. And then I'm going to head down to the beach and I'm going to try to do an hour's swimming in the middle of January in South Wales. So it's probably about 0 degrees in the water, but my wetsuit is pretty thick and I've got gloves and boots and whatever else. So fingers crossed, it all kind of works out in the end. Okay, so 2 things have gone wrong already. Essentially, it's low tide, so it's going to be a long hike to get out to the beach in the first place. And then secondly, I managed to leave my camera in the car, so hey, winning at life. This is the beach, by the way, Jackson's Bay, one of South Wales' finest. But look how far I've got to go. So far away, man. The things I go through for this challenge. Almost walked into a rock. I'm okay, guys. Okay, so my advice, if you're doing this yourself, is just go to a swimming pool. It's a much better idea, but wish me luck. Here we go, I'm not looking forward to this. Okay, so having made it down to the beach, it's actually literally too muddy to make it in at this level for some reason. You start walking in and it starts to feel like it's gonna like drown you. It's really scary actually, so I'm gonna have to bail on this. Sorry, Ronaldo. Dude, you never went through this. I don't think Ronaldo ever went through this for his 7.5 hours sleep, but I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Maybe just Pilates and a walk. That sounds like I'm gonna lose. This is not good. So to get over the disappointment, I headed home and tried some meditation, but wasn't very good at that. And I'm not very good at Pilates either, but it was a pretty good exercise. So I did half an hour of Pilates and then went for a 1 hour walk, but I wasn't convinced it was going to be enough to get enough sleep. But as it turns out, I actually had 7 hours and 51 minutes of sleep, so maybe my efforts were paying off and it was a cumulative effect. It came to the weekend and I did a 2-hour walk with my family and saw the weirdest incidents of littering I've ever seen. That aside, it was enough to get another great night's sleep, 8 hours and 4 minutes. So then I did a 1 hour session of weights the next day. Sorry about the box in the distance. That's actually something I'm going to use for my next challenge. Also, sorry about the unnecessary leg coverage. But anyway, back to the box. My plan is to give away the content after I finish the challenge, so subscribe if you want to be in with a chance for that. But my weight session was enough to get me 7.5 hours sleep, so then I just had the swim challenge to be able to do, and it was a sunny day on the Monday morning, but it was frosty, so I thought it was going to be really cold. But when I got to the beach, it was sunny, it was amazing weather, the tide was completely in, so there was no worry about the crazy mud quicksand at the bottom of the beach down there on the left hand side. I put my wetsuit on before even leaving the house and even drove over in my boots. Found a great rock to put all my things on, so it's just a case of going in. So I finally had some success at the beach, or at least that's what I thought. So I'd got a good swim, I'd got loads of sunshine. I even had a celebratory burger on the way home. But as it turns out, it wasn't enough to get a good night's sleep. I only had 6 hours and 35 minutes. So clearly I didn't swim for long enough. And to make matters worse, I also only had 35 minutes of deep sleep. So in general, it was a bad one. The next day, I knew I had to make it up. So instead of doing my fun football camp, I did a long walk and then I cycled. And I cycled some more. And then I did some more cycling because the challenge was suddenly on the line. If I had another night's sleep like the night before, then I would definitely lose. And this guy, Foxy McFoxface, would suddenly be my buddy in the garden. So after all of my exercise, I woke up the next day and it was time to check my results. And honestly, it felt like the weight of the world was kind of on my shoulders at this stage. But I kind of felt like I'd had a good night's sleep. I thought it was going to work. I had my fingers crossed and it was all just a case of checking the stats, which as it turned out, ended up being just enough to secure me. It was a good night's sleep. I had 8 hours and 3 minutes, and that was more than enough to get me over the line, which I was ecstatic about. No, Foxy, not time for you. It was time for the next day to have my fun football camp. But in terms of what actually worked for me, I think the cycling definitely helped. A 1.5 hour cycle definitely got me better sleep. But I'm planning to do like a little short video on the tips that I think work best for me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be in with a chance to win the content of the box, and drop a comment below if you've got any ideas in terms of what it is. But that's it for my sleep challenge. Mission accomplished. On to the next one.